So, I just want to give a relatively quick overview of what this is because I realize there's a lot of like 5 hour long individual videos on YouTube where somebody just kind of rambles on as they play the game and they kind of like don't know what they're doing for the most part instead of just like, this is what it is. So, in spirit of what the fuck is Distant Worlds 2. So, this is my home world in this game. I started a new game, but there's different settings you can use. This one has several colonies to start with, 16 in this case. So this is my home world. I can zoom all the way in and see from different angles. Do all sorts of cool stuff. It's a fully 3D game. There's the star. Fun things. I like playing top down because I'm old school. I can just zoom all the way out. There's nothing stopping me. This is the whole galaxy right here. This is a small galaxy. This is the smallest one. I just want to make something quick and easy just to show it off. So here, I'm a moon orbiting a planet. There's more moons. There's other planets. There's a star. Planets have moons. There's asteroid fields. This is Empire. These are explored locations. I'm gonna turn that off. Green is fully explored, yellow is halfway explored. It's a whole research tree, whole bunch of stuff. It is a real-time game, so if I press the pause button, it'll stop just like that, and I can do things. I can look at things. I can design ships. Ships have slots. You put the right components in the right slots. Yellow is engines, red is weapons, etc. Get all the stats over here you can look at to see what's going on. To really fine-tune what you want. Or you can just do it all automatically if you want. You can do it half automatically, half manual, you know. I can see all my ship's troops. I can see every place that has a mine on it. I can see all my colonies and all the stats about the colonies. I can see the populations living on the colonies. They're happy, if they're growing, how much money the planet makes. I can see potential colonies. In this case, this is a fresh game, so it's kind of strange. It's not like a real game that's been playing for a few years. But there'd be a list of colonies that I can colonize. You can see your economy, your expenses, your income, all sorts of interesting stuffs. There's no diplomacy because I haven't met anybody yet. There's characters. And if I press pause, space bar, and pauses. I think I'm on full manual right now, so nothing's going to move on its own except for these. The circles are civilian ships. They're always automatic. Let's go in the editor real quick and spawn a couple of state ships. And some pirates. Why not? So I press pause, I can do anything. I can move wherever I want to. I can tell him to go over there if I want to. I can change his tactics. I can tell him to upgrade to something else. I then pause and it just does whatever I told it to do. I have the sound off, hang on. Oh, that's Windows. Anyways. Yeah, so it's two ships fighting, and they can just leave whenever they want. They can go do something else whenever they want. There's the other two ships. I can select military ships, make a fleet out of them. This guy I missed, so I can just add him to the fleet. Bam, he's in first fleet. I click first fleet. There's first fleet. I can tell every ship in the first fleet to attack the same enemy ship, and they will do so. Now he's attacking him. He'll attack him. He's just barely within range, and he's moving to engage. I wish I would have turned the sound on before I started this, but I'm too lazy to fix it now. So, oh, look at that, the spaceport's firing at it too, because they have longer range. So those missiles can reach all the way over there. So anyways, that's Distant Worlds 2 in a nutshell. I realized that in my somewhat haste and unplanned improvisation that I kind of glossed over the whole private economy thing. So if I click on this planet, you'll see the revenue. And this is the amount of population times the development level, which is affected by a few different things. So that just gives a raw number, revenue. And then corruption gets taken off of that, and that's just like black market trade. You're helping your friend out to do something instead of going to the auto mechanic, something like that. It's money that can't be extracted from the economy by either a corporation or the government. So that's just, it disappears basically. Then we have the base revenue, which is everything after that. So you can tax the base revenue. So in this case, for some reason, is that 0%? Yes, see, 154 base tax at 0%. I guess because this is a new game and it hasn't quite caught up yet or something like that, I don't know, but I can just increase that to give an example. And if I start the game, the happiness will go down because they're being taxed. So it went from 86 happiness to 45, so I can keep going until I get to 0. And then they'll start being unhappy, and then at a certain point of negativity, they revolt against you. And if you don't have troops defending, they'll just become independent. Or you can station a large garrison and just keep fighting the rebellion, but in that case, your population goes down because they're dying in the warfare. But in that case, that's not really valid gameplay, just giving an example of things that can happen if you don't pay attention to what's going on. That's why I leave tax rate and manual for the most part. Most people do. There's not really any reason to change it. The game does a good enough job of just, I don't know why, something to do with the fact it's a new game or something. Generally speaking, it'll have your homeworld at the 5 happiness, which is just like a nice buffer zone to keep your populace from revolting. So it'll give you a 5 happiness, and it'll give you whatever tax rate you get off that. So you have the revenue minus the corruption, which gives you the base revenue minus the gross tax. Okay, so whatever it is left over after you tax goes straight into the private economy. So the private economy is its own thing. It's like all the businesses in your empire have their own pool of resources they can pull from, and they use that cash to build ships. Most importantly, freighter ships. If I can find one that isn't on hyperspace, because hyperspace is kind of weird. There we go, one that's in the system. Okay, so the private economy uses their money to purchase resources to build freighters, which you have no control over. The game tells them, your colony needs these resources, go to this mining station, pick up these resources, bring them back to the colony. So this guy is going from a spaceport to a colony. So he's going from Leantar to spaceport. So there's a spaceport around the colony called Leantar 2, and he's being sent to pick up resources from there and bring them to a colony, Empuz. These are all luxury resources. So there's 3 kinds of resources. There's fuel, Kazlon. So he has 725 fuel in his tank that he uses to do things. And then there's construction resources, so he's built out of, say, steel, Cuprica, Tidarios. He's built out of resources that other freighters have mined, that other stations have mined, and other freighters have brought to colonies to build him. And there's luxury resources that colonies use to make more money. So when I said that colonies have development, and that is made up of a few different things, see how it says resources? So this colony has luxury resources, and they all provide development, which increases the tax, the revenue that you can tax from. So this guy is bringing luxury resources from one colony to another colony, so that the recipient colony can have a higher tax rate. Name another game that does that. Another simulation, Aurora. Of course, Aurora does things like that. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. There's a few that do like similar things, like sort of stars as freighters, and the whole weird trade economy, micromanaging thing. There's Stellaris mods you can use to do that sort of thing. Star Ruler kind of does that. Star Ruler 2, somewhat. Star Ruler 1 kind of does that. Sins of Solar Empire? It's been a while since I played, but I think there's like kind of a sort of thing, but that's usually just like really simplistic, like they just provide you cash. This is not cash, this is resources that get in an indirect way converted into cash, but are transported by a third party that you don't control, that is paid for with money that you can't directly contribute to, and resources that that third party collects itself. So, some people like to say that Distant Worlds 2 plays itself to an extent. Yes, it does, because a significant portion of your empire is just these freighter guys just going around doing things. Like, these are all construction resources that are going to be turned into ships. Yeah, he's going to this planet right here. So he's going to drop them off here, fill up the stocks. These are all numbers. Okay, so 100 Cuprica is on this planet right now. So let's go to the ship designer. And let's look at a destroyer. Destroyer uses... There's no Cuprica in this design. Cupricas usually use engines. This engine doesn't have them. Engines and reactors, I think. I'm not too hip on resources, to be honest. It has Cuprica. Just give me an example. Come on. Yes, there's a lot of things. What uses Cuprica? I can't remember. I thought it was engines. Is it not? Obviously not. Okay, there we go. An atomic devastator. Okay, so this weapon uses 24 Cuprica. So if I put it on this design, then every time I build a destroyer, 24 Cuprica gets taken off of the planet that it was built on. What game does that? Dwarf Fortress and Aurora, is that it? Speaking of this atomic devastator, this is only used against planets. It can't be used against ships. It's only used to bombard planets. Just so many things that all do different things, and they all come together in some glorious dance across the universe. It's just amazing. I'm gonna hit on pause. So there's little shuttles unloading this. Look, it's empty now. It just had thousands of resources, and they're on the planet now. And now they go off to do another job. And I can just zoom out from this planet, and look, there's ships just doing things. And it's not like it's an abstract thing where if this planet if this ship makes it to that planet, you get 10,000 cash. No, he's going to this planet to pick up tourists. He's going to Sarensit 3. Where is that? Sarensit 3. Okay, so here's Sarensit, this one. So he's going to pick up tourists. He's going to go to this planet with probably 75,000 tourists. Now, if he comes out of warp here, and a pirate ship is right here, and a pirate ship kills that passenger ship, those tourists are gone. Speaking of pirates, there they go, running back to their station. The spaceport's trying to fight off the pirate, and he decided for some reason he wanted to refuel, probably because he's low on shields. He said, nah, it's not worth it. So, yeah, when people say the universe feels alive, I'm not doing any of this. I'm not even, this is manual. Everything is on, nothing is on automatic. Nothing happens unless I say so, except for this private economy that is always moving, doing its thing, shuffling resources and people around, making money. So if I was going to attack another empire, I would make a fleet. My fleet would warp in, they would attack the spaceport, they would kill the spaceport, and they would blockade the planet. And all of these freighters that try to go to the planet to give this planet resources so it can make you taxes would get turned away. So the development would go down, and your tax money from this planet would go down. They would become unhappy because they don't have luxury resources. Yeah. Here's an independent. This is just, it doesn't belong to an empire. The distance world doesn't have minor empires, it just has independence. So an empire can be one planet or it can be 100 planets. At any point in the game, a planet could be unhappy and revolt, and it's an empire on its own. Or it can become independent. In which case, it's just its own entity. Traveling around, even independent planets have to do trade. So that because these resources very slowly go down. Construction very slowly goes down, but the luxury resources, they will suck them up. See, look at that. Okay, so these ones are being mined, so they're going up. That one's not being mined, so it's going down. So a ship has to bring this resource to this planet, or it won't have any, because it's eating it to make money. Okay, it's kind of not Distant Worlds in a nutshell anymore. It's kind of Distant Worlds in a long-winded, always into school. So I'll leave it at that.